And welcome to another edition of Off the Glass here on BBB Channel 12. Joining me is the head coach of the Oak Ridge Lady Wildcats, Coach Paige Redmond. Coach, a good week for you, just now complete. We've got some footage of all three games, but we'll talk about them in general here. We'll start, I guess, back on the, the Friday ball game, which was Central. Yeah, I can see it in your eyes. You might have forgotten it, but it seemed like it was a long time ago. You played a lot of basketball. Central was a team that lost their best player to an injury. She didn't play against you anyway, but you all started out pretty slow in that ball game.
Really slow, and it reminded me of last year how we started out the same way. I felt like we had energy. I just don't feel like it was the right effort. It's like we were in quicksand a little bit. You know, we were trying, but we couldn't do anything with it.
And it was a district game. You got the win, and then you turned it over. Saturday, you played the Cleveland team. Very athletic, very good basketball team. Looked like a totally different team out there.
Yeah, and we knew Cleveland coming in was a really good basketball team. They've lost a few games, but they've lost to really good teams in close games, and they've beaten a couple of really good teams. And it was a place. It was a time for us to kind of measure where we are in comparison with some other teams in the area that we could potentially see in the postseason. And I felt like their effort was really, really good.
Hey, Dylan, let's roll some of the footage from the Central and the Cleveland games. And Coach, I'll let you examine. You know, okay. Of course, these shots are only the best. You know, we don't see the turnovers, we don't see things like that. But I'll let you just comment on this. And this was the Cleveland game on Saturday, obviously.
Yeah, Bree shot it really well Saturday. She's struggled. There's just been a couple games where she's been off, but she's been shooting the ball really well this entire season.
I noticed in this game, I think Hope had like 8 or 9 assists in that
game. She did. She distributed the ball really, really well. She sometimes gets going a little bit faster than what she needs to go, and her passes are a little bit harder than they need to be, but she sees the floor really, really well.
Little post presence there with Gracie.
Gracie came up big on the offensive end for us with some buckets that we needed at a crucial time.
I remember that play in particular. Yeah. I thought they were kind of double teaming her up there. I think she took it personally. And
it was the right move to make at the right time.
Yeah. Nice crowd on hand here for the ball game too. I mean, you know, obviously the boys was a crowd draw too, the #1 team in the state. But it's always good when you get a chance to play at home in front of a big crowd.
Yeah, and I've always said, you know, I want my girls to play. They work hard and they earn that opportunity, and it's nice to see people come out and support them.
Cleveland was a good team too, so you'll play them on February the 11th.
We will.
Which down there will be tougher, a little tougher, I would assume.
Definitely tougher. Yeah, that's a big week for us. We have 3 games that week.
Yeah, I was kidding Coach Green last night about who scheduled that last week, going to Cleveland, going to Chattanooga, you know, and he blamed it on you.
No, that would be him.
No, he actually said the two of you put it together, which I guess in terms of, you know, we got a long ways before we get to that section, but it's good that you're playing tough teams right at tournament time.
Yeah, and Cleveland was one we picked up because we lost a couple games that we typically do before Christmas, and then we owe East Hamilton a game there, so.
Here's the Central game. Started out really slow, as I said. It was very low scoring there in that first quarter.
It was very low scoring. They picked it up in the second half a whole lot. It was a lot better than the first half for sure. You know, it was a ball game at halftime. It was a game that Central, in their mind, you know, knew that they or thought that they could win at halftime.
And you never want a team that is not as good as you think that, and you know, because they'll start believing.
It's dangerous. Yes, it is.
In a moment, we're gonna bring on a couple of let's get a shot of them right here. We've got a couple of the Lady Wildcats in the house right now. On your left, that's Lauren Hart, and that's Samaj Clark on the right. And ladies, we'll come back and talk to you here in a few short moments. But I just wanted to get them prepared to be on the TV here. Let's talk about the Halls game, and that was last night. Halls is a team that down 2. In fact, this whole week, the teams that you're playing, and you and I have talked about this, don't have the best records, and they're in the district though, so you have to win them. You have to show up and play.
Right, and we have to take it as an opportunity to get better. You know, every game that you come out, regardless of who you're playing, you have to grow as a team at this point in the season. If you're not growing, you've topped out, and you're not going to be in good shape for the postseason.
Let's roll some footage from last night's ball game. This was over at Halls. A great start, I thought, in the ball game.
It was a really good start, especially on the defensive end, and the defense turned into a quick offense for us.
You got a chance, and in the Central game for sure, and in this ball game, you got a chance to play a lot of your younger players. I mean,
and that's good in a week where you have 3 games too. You know, to rest the girls that play a lot, keep their leg. We're in the part of our season where it's, you know, how much rest do they need? How much can we push? How hard can we go and practice? Days off and that sort of thing. It starts all playing a part. So this gives us an opportunity to give them a little bit of a break during games.
I interviewed Rajay last night on the radio, and I told her this is kind of the dog days of the schedule. I mean, you're past your Christmas tournaments and such. You're in the middle of your district schedule, and you're not quite to the tournaments yet. So it's kind of the grinded out kind of part of the schedule.
It is, but the fun part is still ahead. So we got to get there, and we got to do what it takes to be prepared and be ready to get there.
This game ended up being a blowout like it was at the Wildcat Arena, but and I think they lost one of their best players during the course of the game too. That, you know, might have made a difference. But I just think you girls are, with the exception of the first half on Friday, you're
Right.
playing some pretty good ball. I know as a coach, there's a lot to be worked on and improved upon, but you're playing pretty well right now.
Yeah, I mean, you're always going to find things you need to work on, but I feel like the things that we need to work on are good things. You know, that's not like we're looking and searching for answers. We have answers. We just have to improve.
One thing, you know, you're getting a lot more depth too. And you and I talked about, and I'm going to talk to Samaj here in a minute. Somebody that has stepped up as a sophomore player, a starting role, and you've added depth in other positions too. Lauren comes to mind. She can come in and fill in whenever. So that's a good part about games like this, where you get a chance to play a lot of people.
Yeah, that's one thing I can say as a coach here in the previous 4 seasons. We haven't had a lot of depth. You know, we got a state tournament playing 6, 7 people, and this is a team that this is the most depth that we've had, and very like can play different areas, different. You know, we can play 5 guards, we can play 2 posts. We've never had that option before.
Kyle, these are a lot of repetitive, but you know, Kamari had a lot of layups after steals, and you know, I'll be talking to Samaj here in a minute. In a minute, we're going to see Lauren Hart knock down a 3-point shot too, as well. And I on the radio last night, I was saying, "Shoot it, shoot it," and you and I were talking right before the show. I guess obviously you've done the same.
Yes, you know, she has a lot of opportunities to take shots, and I think. She's just got to get comfortable doing it, and like I tell her all the time, and I said this before, you know, she's got enough time to shot fake, she's got enough time to shoot.
Well, I'm not going to try to embarrass them, but I'm going to ask Samaj a pointed question too about her, I guess, passiveness in the first part of the year. And I guess it all comes with confidence, though. When you get out there and play, and you're much more confident. There's a 3-point shot from the side. Was that Cannon or was that Lauren? I couldn't see. Cannon, was that you? That was Cannon.
It was Cannon, yeah.
There's Lauren.
Yeah. Yeah, Samaj, I think the transition from middle school to high school, it's a bigger transition than a lot of people think. And, you know, Samaj, we saw things in her early on, and we just needed a little bit more from her. And then we started seeing a little bit more, and once she got out there with the opportunity to play a whole lot more, then there was a comfort zone there, and she started producing the way we needed her to produce.
Before we look, hey Dylan, looks like we're frozen on the screen there. But before we talk to them personally, why don't you kind of tell us about these young ladies, as their strengths as players, and just about them.
Well, both of them are great kids, as we were talking before. Very, very good students. Work hard in the classroom. Take honors classes. I'm sure next year, junior year, they're going to start with the AP classes. But couldn't ask for better kids. You know, Samaj, like I said, Samaj's role has changed throughout the course of the season for us. And you know, there are times I tell her, you know, I feel like I'm pulling. You know, I just want to pull it out of her, and I keep on. And I've always said, why do I push you? Because you know, and she knows she had more to give, and she wasn't giving it, and she has started to give that. And you know, she can play the 3, she can play the 4, she can play the 1. You know, she's got a very high basketball IQ, and she's deceiving. She's smart defensively. She's just not always where she needs to be defensively, but she's smart. She knows, and she thinks about it sometimes a little bit too late. Lauren is a kid that I've watched her in middle school, and she's a kid that I feel like she just plays hard, and she would run through a wall for you, and she but with that, she's also one of the things she's got to work on. We've talked about this is she worries about everything, and she just wants to please. And sometimes that's good in some ways, and she's got to relax and play, and that's her biggest thing is she's got to relax and play because she can play. And she can shoot, as you saw, and she's got to have the confidence to do that.
Well, let's switch it over to the ladies here. I'm going to ask you just some general questions, like I said. Samaj, I'm going to start with you, though, because first of the year, as Coach was saying, I just watching you play, sometimes you look pretty timid's not the right word, but tentative, I guess, would be a better word. Was the experience of getting a chance to play as a starter a little bit, did that help you out in terms of confidence? Because Coach says every week that basketball is a game of confidence. You got to have it.
Yeah, I think that I got more comfortable, later in the season. And I realized that, the coaches trusted me, so I guess that boosted my confidence. And then, I just got more comfortable.
So you're a starter now, which you're around some older players. Was that kind of intimidating at first?
I don't think it was intimidating, but like I'm used to, we're always in practice playing together. We just have, chemistry and stuff. So it didn't really intimidate me. It just helped me realize what to do, and then I got the hang of it, and then I was more comfortable.
Let's turn it over to Lauren there real quick. Lauren, your role is a little different right now. You are sixth person, I guess, seventh person, first person or so off the bench. So your role is a little bit different. How have you adapted to your role? Because I know most of you all, when you're in the middle school, you're starters. You're playing a lot of basketball. How have you adjusted to your role on the team?
I just know I need to step up more. I need to be good when I come off the bench. I can't let down and make turnovers and stuff. I just need to keep it going.
What are your strengths? What do you think your strengths are as a player?
Well, I just have to be more confident. First off, when I am confident, I feel like I can shoot and I can see the floor really well. I just need to be more confident and know I can do it.
Samaj, what do you think your strengths are?
My strength, I think, I think I can shoot well, and I feel like I can pass well, but I do need to work on my defense a little bit. But those two things, shooting and passing, I think those are mine.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was going to ask you what your weaknesses are, but both of you kind of addressed that. Coach, would you agree with everything they said?
I would, and here's what they both have to understand. That, it's not like they have a ton of varsity playing experience, and there's a little bit more room for error, mistakes with both of them. Samaj, a little bit less than Lauren because she's getting more minutes, but with the lack of experience, they have some room to make mistakes. It's the only way they're going to learn. And that's part of just going out and relaxing, and then they'll get into the flow and get used to it and have more confidence. One
thing I've noticed about Samaj in particular is that as she's getting more confident, and so I'll ask you, Samaj, here, your range of shots has expanded. At first, you were more in terms of just going for layups or something close, but now you're kind of branching out and trying to shoot threes. Is that all part of it with confidence?
I usually shoot a lot of threes in practice, so I'm used to shooting out. But I was a little, at the beginning of the year, I would get nervous and shoot it too short, too long. But I think I've got comfortable, shooting further out.
Lauren, where do you see yourself? You're underclassmen right now, so you've got a couple more years to get better and grow. I guess you're a sophomore, so you got a couple more. In terms of leadership, will you be the leaders that step up when these seniors leave? You'll be junior next year, but will you all be leaders? Is that a role that you will embrace, both of you?
I'd say so. I'd say Bree is a very vocal leader, so when she's gone, we'll need someone to step up and be vocal and just lead the team, so I can see that happening.
Well, Coach told me today that the two of you were kind of quiet, basically, but she's also said when you're behind closed doors, you're not as quiet. So I guess it's more of a I guess this television, nobody's really vocal on television.
Right.
Nobody wants to say anything, but are you going to be able to become a vocal leaders, both of you?
I'd say so. I mean, I feel like I'm getting more comfortable as days go by, so I'd say so.
Okay, I'm gonna switch gears here. I've got some questions for you, Coach. Are you okay with these?
I'm good, yeah.
Okay, these are slightly different questions that I'm going to ask you that I've written down because you'll see why here in a second. And it's something I do in football, which I actually enjoy doing. Get to know you a little bit better. So I'm going to ask each one of you a question here, like the same question. First one: what is your favorite kind of movie? And what is your all-time favorite movie, both of you?
Okay. I think my favorite type of movies are like, action movies. I'm not into like horror movies or anything, but action movies. I don't think I have a favorite movie, but those are my favorite types of movies.
Lauren?
I really like horror movies, but I can't think of a favorite one.
Like Insidious and those kind of movies?
I've actually never seen that movie. I like The Conjuring.
Okay.
That's one I like, but I don't know which
All right.
one's my favorite.
I like those movies too. I don't know. Coach, do you like those kind of
No.
movies? Okay. Okay. I asked it differently last week. I'm gonna ask this question to you. Where would you like Coach Redmond to take you all next Christmas to a tournament?
Somewhere warm.
That was the question I asked last week, actually. Anywhere in particular? Hawaii, Coach?
That sounds good. South Florida?
Yeah, I like Florida.
Did you all get in the water at Myrtle Beach?
No. I mean,
Yeah.
I put my feet in, but
I mean, it was cold. It was really cold there. Okay, what is the funniest thing that happened? I'm gonna ask both of you. What was the funniest thing that happened on that Myrtle Beach trip as a team?
Probably we went on the beach to take team pictures. And, some of us are afraid of birds, and there were a lot of pigeons out there. And everyone was running around screaming. And then me and Lauren were just out there with the birds, just waiting on everyone to settle down. I think that was funny.
yeah.
Same thing? Okay. What is the best part about going to overnight tournaments, just as a group?
I'd say, me and Lauren are in the same, hotel room most of the time. And I think, like, going in the hotel rooms, I think that's pretty fun. We play a lot of games and stuff,
I would say it's a lot of team bonding. I mean, everyone just gets closer and has more time together, and it's just...
Who is the funniest person on the team?
Kamari.
Yeah.
Why so?
She's goofy all the time. Yeah. She's never not goofy. It's just, I don't know.
Who is the most serious person on the team?
I don't know if we have one.
I don't know about serious, but like none of the freshmen talk really, so they seem pretty serious to me.
Okay. Do you have a favorite ice cream, both of you?
I like mint chocolate chip.
I like strawberry. I say strawberry.
Okay. What little known fact about you that you all know about yourselves that we wouldn't know and never would? Can you all sing, dance, anything like that? Anything you all do well that the average person out here maybe watching wouldn't know about you? Can they sing, Coach?
I have no idea. I don't know.
Do they ever sing in the locker room?
I'm sure they do. I don't go in there to listen, though.
I think Samaj is pretty good at singing.
No, I think.
Would you like to sing for us right here?
No.
No, I didn't think so. What's your favorite, each one of you, what's your favorite memory playing basketball at Oak Ridge? Could be about
personally,
you or the team, whatever.
I really liked going to state. I mean, it was just fun, to be honest. I mean, to know that we made it that far and like it was like our last games together, we just really made it like worth the time.
I'd say my favorite memory was last year when we played Maryville, and it was a tie game, and Jada hit that shot at the last second. Everyone just rushed on the court. I think that was my favorite memory.
That seems to be a consensus, actually.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you, this is off the script here, but you enjoyed going to the state tournament. What will it take as a team for you all to get back to the state tournament?
Really just playing together. I mean, Coach always says we can be as good as we want to be, so we just really need to be as good as we can. I mean,
Besides basketball, what's your favorite sport to watch?
football.
Yeah. I I like to watch college football.
College football. I asked this question last week. I'm going to do it again. Who decides where to eat on road trips?
Seniors.
The coaches really just ask what do we want, and then we all just kind of say things, and people are like, I don't think it's like one person. I think it's just about everyone.
Have you ever gone to a place where you didn't really want to eat at all and you just...
I mean, we got food that I didn't really like, but
I eat anything, so
Do you all get nervous before a game?
I don't. I just go out there, I guess.
I do.
Do you? Is it just about you personally or the team? Like,
It's just me, to be
Okay.
honest.
who's your favorite athlete of all time, both of you?
Stephen Curry.
I like Kyrie Irving.
Okay. Do y'all want to play sports like after high school?
I'd like to play in college, but I don't know. I don't think I want to go after college, but college, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not really sure. I mean, I'd like to think I'd like to, but still.
What do you all want? Do you have any idea? You're only sophomores, so do you have any idea what you want to like be in life and study in school?
I want to go somewhere in the medical field. I kind of like dentistry. I've looked
Okay.
into that.
I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I haven't thought about it. I don't know.
Ladies, anything you'd like to say before we close your section of the show out here? Just shout out to anybody.
Shout out to the Lady Wildcats.
Well, thank you for Lauren, you have anything to say? You can't top that, really.
Shout out to Coach.
Okay. Thank you for joining us, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Okay. Coach, that was fun.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you're around a lot of good girls.
Right.
Just one thing I've learned about just sitting here with them, sitting over there, they're just really nice people.
Yeah, but I've really been fortunate to be. I mean, every year it's just a good, solid group of kids, and it starts at home, and we're fortunate we get to take them and work with them for 4 years.
Coach, let's talk about the upcoming schedule. Tomorrow you're at Carnes. It's a makeup ball game from the snow day back in December, I guess it was.
Right.
Then Friday you're at Anderson County, and then not that these two games are not important, but on Tuesday you go at home against Powell,
Right.
which Powell's one game behind you in the standings. Actually, I hate to say these two games are not important because they are, one
Right.
game at a time.
Right.
But Tuesday's game might be the most important game of the season.
It is. It's a big game for us because Powell, they're gonna come for us. They're confident. I saw a couple of I saw a coach watching our Cleveland game. They're gonna come prepared. But like you said, we've got to take it one game at a time. We got to play at Carnes tomorrow, Anderson County on Friday, and then we'll prepare for Powell on Sunday and Monday.
I think Powell and Campbell County played last night. I think it was a two-point game. I think Powell won by 2. So, Campbell County's obviously playing well. You'll play them later on. So the district is far from being decided.
Absolutely. Someone at school asked me today, about the district tournament. I said, well, we got to finish the regular season first and see how we end up. And, we can't take it for granted that we're going to win basketball games. We got to earn it.
Tell me about Carnes. What do you know about them?
I haven't seen them play. I honestly haven't seen them play. I can't tell you a whole lot. I know typically in the past they're not big, a lot of size. Probably 5 guards playing. So hopefully it'll be a good matchup for us. We like to play 5 guards because I feel like defensively, whatever we put in, we can defend that.
Did you have a good practice today?
We did. It's tough. Wednesdays are tough, middle of the week, and especially in a 3-game week, you got to kind of, again, it goes back to, are they tired? You got to save legs and, mentally and physically. And middle of the week, I think just in school, it's tough too with homework and, tests and different things coming up. And so, but it was a good practice.
Girls, let me ask you one more question. Talk about the conditioning that Coach Redmond puts you through. Is that something you look forward to every year?
I do not look forward to that. I do not like to run miles, nothing like that. I don't like it.
I wouldn't say I look forward to it, but afterwards, it's like I'm thankful for it because I definitely feel more in shape.
That's one thing that I noticed about your teams, Coach. You were always in I think, better shape than all the teams you play. And that's a tribute to your all's conditioning.
Well, it is, but it's the style that we want to play. It's a pace that we want to keep, and we know that we have to be in shape to do that.
Coach, I appreciate the time, and good luck these next
Thank
3
you.
games. It's Paige Redmond, head coach of the Lady Wildcats, along with Lauren Hart and Samaj Clark. Coming up next, we're going to switch gears to the boys' side. Coach Green's going to be joining us along with a couple of the Wildcats. We're going to take a break now. We'll be back and switch to the boys' side right after this.
Everything we do is in search of more go. If it can withstand 0 degrees, can it go -20? If it can run through 5 inches of water per hour, can it go to 6? We go. So it goes. So you can go. It's hard to stop a train.
Train. Extreme conditions testing. It's hard to stop a train. Really hard. Train, the most reliable heating and cooling.
I gotta go shower.
It's laundry night.
Dishwasher needs to run.
And the Hot Water Wars. A Rinnai tankless water heater gives you an endless supply of hot water for everything you need to do. Rinnai, hot water for all.
We're always moving. Scratch that. We're always moving forward. But forward can sometimes look a little backwards. Or like circles. Or like nothing at all. But we never stop. We never stop. Because life never stops. It's hard to stop a train.
Train. Extreme conditions testing. It's hard to stop a train. Really hard. Train, the most reliable heating and cooling.
And welcome back to the show here on BBB Channel 12, where you're watching Off the Glass, the Oak Ridge High School basketball show. And joining me is the head coach of the Wildcats, Coach Aaron Green. Coach, first off, congratulations on a nice week of basketball. You lost the game on Saturday. We're going to have some highlights from Friday and Saturday and last night, but you became the winningest head coach in Oak Ridge High School history. Congratulations to that.
Well, thanks, David. I was, when you mentioned that on, I guess it was at Central, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just thought back to, I got here in 2010. I'm not going to name any players because I'll leave some people out, but just all the great players, the 10 years I've been here. And, a lot of the coaches, obviously Jeremy Carringer, spent a lot of time with me. Dyron Birdwell, who's at Siegel now, spent several years. Even Torrey Harris, Tucker Trent, Denard Bertram, my current staff. My dad spent obviously a lot of time, and Ronnie Scott's, I think he's on his 4th or 5th year, and Miles McDowell, Trent Fleming. And so, just a lot of credit goes to them, and I think back to those guys because they've helped me tremendously, and I think most coaches would tell you it's really a team effort if you have success, and it really starts with the players. Like I told you on Friday, we've had some really good players, and my dad told me long ago when I got into coaching, if you got good players, you'll win most of them. If you don't have good players, you're going to probably lose most of them. So we've had some good players.
Coach, I'm going to ask you a tough question. If you don't want to answer it, you don't have to. But I was thinking about this the other night. Actually, over the summer, when you pointed out it was your 10th year, coaching year. When you started here, Did you see it as someplace where you'd be here for 10 years, or did you think you'd get back into college, or are you surprised that you've been here this long?
No, not really. I've had a lot of people ask me about college. I was a college coach for 3 years, and that's a really tough lifestyle. I think,
Especially when you got young kids.
Yeah, I mean, Cannon's sitting over here in the background. I think if you ask her, it was I was gone a lot and working a lot, and just not really the lifestyle that I wanted to live. And so I had no desire, really had any desire to go back into college. And this is a great place. It's a good school system. Great community. So really hasn't been a reason for me to leave.
Coach, let's talk about the games we played. Let's start with Friday. You went to Central, and Central's a really good team. I mean, they're very athletic. They've always been tough over there. They've got a pretty good mix of players on that team. Almost scary to look at, actually, sometimes. And if they ever really were to get it together, they would be a major force. Not that they're not together now, but you've been able to do some good things against them.
Yeah, and I think if you just watch them, if you just walk into the gym and watch them warm up, you kind of got an idea of why they've won back-to-back football state championships. Great athletes, put together well, fast, quick, and then they've got really the same in basketball. I think they've got two really good guards in Summer and Moore, and did a good job on Summers on Friday. Didn't do as good a job on the other guy, but they got athletes. I mean, they got size, they're fast, they're quick, and I think our pressure got to them a little bit, and start really there late in the first quarter, and we just kind of snowballed on them, and I thought. They got a little fatigued, and that's kind of what we try to do to teams, and I thought that was evident on Friday night against them as well.
And that was a district win, obviously. Then you came home to the arena on Saturday, took on the #1 team in the state, Cleveland, led them at halftime, played them tough all the way to the very end. They had a little late push there at the end of the game, won the ball game, but you let them know that you were going to be competitive right from the beginning.
Yeah, I thought we'd have a chance to win the game. I'm disappointed that we didn't win the game. I think after watching the tape, we just had we had 4 or 5 plays that, the kid, we had just some breakdowns defensively. If you have some breakdowns on 10 on Wood, he's going to make you pay. And he made some tough shots, but the 2 threes we gave up there, I think his late third, early fourth, I think it was in the fourth quarter, is tied or down 2. He made pretty much back-to-back threes. I thought that was big. And we gave up a couple offensive rebounds there in the fourth quarter that led to buckets and had some turnovers right around the basket and missed some easy ones. But, and sometimes against teams that you're better than, those don't really show up. But if you're playing a team like Cleveland that's very talented, and I think they were 18-0 before we played them, those mistakes and stuff are going to glare and can sometimes bite you. So that's why you play good teams, and hopefully we get in that situation again. We're going to be playing, obviously, some good teams, down the stretch and in postseason. And when we get back in that situation, our kids will, handle those a little bit better.
Coach, let's roll some highlights from Central and Cleveland. And Coach, I mean, obviously, I don't put in the bad plays here. You just see the good ones, but
yeah, Isaiah Johnson. There's a 3 there. I think he's made a couple threes the last couple games. Kel Slater, I thought was really a key in how well we played against Cleveland. He had 11 points off the bench and was very aggressive and did some really good things. There's Jeremy Miller getting in the paint there. And, here we are getting in transition. Stewart leading the break. And then we, obviously like to play fast. And there's Isaiah with another 3. So, I think if Isaiah is shooting the ball well, he's that much harder to guard. And, I thought we did a pretty good job of getting to the glass and executing offensively. We scored, 80-something points. So got it to our pace and, did a good job, defending them. So we got Jamison up to Graff in there. Good pass by Nick Dallas for Lucas Searcy on the score. There's Milway with a trail 3. He made 2 last night against Hall. So he's a guy we're going to try to get some looks because he can shoot it. And there's Preston Turner going left and finishing. And, he's played well in spurts for us. There's Jeremy on a drive, but just a good win. When you go to Central and win, I think it's obviously anytime you go there and win, it's a good win. But they're very talented, like we said just a second ago, and athletic. And we got a lot of guys in the game, and kind of got to save our legs a little bit for back-to-back games against Cleveland the next night.
Here in a minute, we're going to have Stafford Shanklin and Jonathan Stewart. We're going to talk to them. But I thought, in particular in this game, and there's Stafford right there, played a really, really good game.
Yes, yeah. Stafford come in and done some good things for us. He's, he's long and athletic, as we've talked about before. He's still learning our system. I'm sure he would tell you, he's come a long way in the last 2 weeks, really. I mean, there's a lot to learn. It's not just get on, just roll the balls out. There was a lot to learn, and for a new kid to come right into our system as a junior, it's sometimes can be overwhelming. But he's done a good job with it, and great kid, has done a good job of just staying patient, not got too frustrated, and is playing his best basketball right now.
One thing I'm noticing in these clips here, and Jonathan's going to be joining us, he had a lot of assists in this game. He was dishing it off to and Jonathan can score. I'm trying to remember the game where he just launched 3 after 3 after 3 and they went in, but right there,
yeah,
he was dishing it off to his teammates.
He's one of our better passers. I've said that really all year long. He's a great passer. He's one of those guys too that obviously we'll probably talk about the shot he made at Clinton. Was I guess we'd call it even legendary. That you'll be replaying that shot for probably as long as you're doing this. Right. So. But yeah, I mean, we've got, the good thing about this team is we're very, very balanced. I think on any given night we can have certain guys score. Certain matchups, is going to allow certain guys to do things on certain nights and may not allow certain games to do certain things on other nights.
Let's roll the footage from the Cleveland ball game here.
Yeah, and here's 10. He's a good block by Milway. Here we are in transition. I thought the first half was one of the best halves we played. We scored 43 points against a really good defensive team, and we got stops and got it out in transition. The second half, I thought they did a bit better job. We didn't, they scored a little bit more, which didn't know there was a shot at the end of the half to put us up 5. They scored more in the second half, and we couldn't quite get it going in transition like we wanted to. But you can just see here on the tape, they're athletic. They don't have a whole lot of size, but they defend well, they play hard. But a good basketball team. Definitely a state tournament team, and obviously there's Milway inside. We got it to him a lot in the first half. We tried to, didn't do a very good job. Arizona 3 didn't do it. That was late. It cut it to I think 3 or 4, but didn't do as good a job in the second half of getting him touches, and that falls a little bit on me too as far as trying to get it in there. But again, there's another.
I think he had 18 in the first half.
18 in the first half, and I don't think he got but 3 or 4 shots off in the second half. And again, couple things come to mind. They did a lot better job, and we didn't do a good job of getting the ball in there to him. So, but yeah, I mean, even we only made. I think just going back and watching the game, we only made 2 threes and still had a chance to win the game. Most nights we're going to make more than 2 threes. So that's a positive. But we had some guys play well, and again, those are the type. We'll go back down there in a couple weeks, and I told our team they'll probably be 25, 24-0, whatever, how many games they play. I don't think they're going to lose another one or lose the game between now and time we go back, and we'll have another opportunity to go down there and play them at their place.
I thought Kel played really well here. In fact, he really played the majority of the second half.
He did. Preston picked up his third there in the third quarter, and Kel was playing so well. We just let him get most of those minutes in the second half, and he took advantage of them. He just played aggressive. Here's a great example. He just took it right to the hole, no hesitation, very confident. He wasn't doing that earlier in the year, so he's gotten a ton better, and it's going to be a huge factor for us going down the stretch.
Then you played Halls. And let's go ahead and roll the Halls footage. This was from last night. I thought the first half you played it really well. The second half, it was kind of a grind out kind of a game.
Yeah, a little sloppy second half. I wasn't very pleased with with how well we took care of the ball. But we're up 20-something at a half, and I thought played okay. We're obviously a little bit more talented than Halls, and anytime you can get a 25-point win, we'll take it on the road. But definitely can play a lot better, and we've got to play a lot better to, obviously accomplish some things we want to accomplish.
They didn't have any answer inside either in this
game. And this is the type of team where, Milway should, really dominate the inside, and, he did that in the first half. We got it in there to him, not just by scoring, but, protecting the rim, rebounding, all those things. And I thought, we did a good job of having that balance. Here we are, and again, got out in transition. Isaiah made some good plays on penetration, found Milway on penetration there for a lay-in, and that's what makes us really hard to guard is we've got a lot of different weapons and can shoot it. We've got an inside presence with not just Millway. We've got several guys that can score inside, and there's a turnover created and with Miller on the finish.
This was a district game, obviously.
Stewart kept that one alive, and Cal hanging around there right at the end of the quarter. Another steal, which starts our break. And we chart a lot of this stuff, deflections and steals and field goal percentage, and and really try to, here's a play we run a lot to get it inside. And I know Jonathan Millway loves that play because he scored a lot of points off of it this year. Great pass by Isaiah, a good catch too by Jonathan, and there's Stewart on the glass. Stewart did a great job on the glass this game. He I think we hadn't done a good job the last 2 or 3 games on the offensive glass, and after watching the tape, he got several of those, along with Stafford. Stafford got several offensive rebounds. This is where here's Jamison up the graph off our flex cut action, and he's come a long way. He's gotten better, and he's a kid I think will be a good player for us here, for sure. When his time comes, there's Timothy Williams, who made 2 shots there in the first half. Made that 3, then made a pull up, and there's Millway on a 3. Those are shots that really we work on. So I know you asked me after the game, do we mind? We work on those shots. That's a corner shot, and if he's definitely open, he's got as long as really all of our guys have the green light to shoot it if they're open. So now if they go 0 for 20, they may get the caution or the red light. But I just as a player, I didn't like playing for coaches that you're hesitant whether to shoot it or not shoot it.
Kevin O'Neill. Yeah,
no doubt. That's an understatement for sure. There's Stafford I don't know if the bank was open, but he got that one in and threw a little bit of a contact, and here he is on another finish there off an out-of-bounds play. And, Stafford's got some athleticism. And, again, he's gotten better each and every game and, starting to get a little bit more confidence, which has helped him a ton. But we got everybody in, got a lot of, got to play. We've got a lot of minutes. There's Kai Hurst on a block. He says, don't bring it in here to my house, Kai says. And there's Nick Dallas on the finish. And both those guys have, when they've got in there, have done a good job and contributed in some way. And, you can contribute, other than scoring in a game of basketball, and those guys definitely do that.
Coach, I might have asked you this before, but Coach Gaddis, does he try to get Nick Dallas? I mean, Nick's a big guy. I mean, has he tried to recruit him to the football?
We've talked about Nick. Nick will come in there at when I've got class with Coach Gaddis and shoot. And, I've never really, I think, of course, Nick, Nick's a junior. I don't think football, it's just never really interested Nick at all. And I think Coach Gaddis knows that.
Let's go to the guys here. On the set here. On the left, that is Jonathan Stewart, and that is Stafford Shanklin on the right there. Guys, I'm going to ask you a couple general questions here. First off, Coach, I'll let you kind of talk about them before I ask them some questions.
Yeah, I think, Jonathan Stewart, he's one of those kids as a freshman, I knew coming in as a freshman he was going to have a chance to be a really good player. Very athletic. I remember watching him play at Jefferson and knew he had a lot of talent. And I think this year, the progress he's made from his sophomore year to his junior year, and usually that's when the guys will make their biggest jump, has been great. He's the shot he made at Clinton, I still don't know how he made that, but he's done he's done a good job. He's and I've said this before, as I'm not the easiest guy to play for, and he's yes sir, no sir, and always. Has always been very respectful and trying to do what I've asked him to do, and wants to win, cares about winning, is very unselfish, and does a lot of things for us on the floor to help us win. Stafford Shanklin, I think Stafford is I smile talking about Stafford because I mentioned this earlier. Coming in as a new player and not really knowing our system at all. I mean, as Stewart can vouch for, Stewart's been in our system 3 years, so a lot of stuff we do. It's just, you don't have to think about it. For Stafford, it's different. He's having to think about, what to do. So therefore, it's kind of slowed him down. You can't really think and play, but he's gotten a lot better with that, and he's starting to feel more comfortable and more confident. And, he's played well the last 2 weeks. This has been the best 2 weeks that he's had at Oak Ridge, and, he's just going to continue to get better. And I think the ceiling for him is way, way high.
Okay, guys, let me ask you a few questions here. In fact, I'm going to ask you about 10 minutes worth of questions here. So we'll start in some general questions here. Let's talk about that shot at Clinton, which Clinton obviously is a good basketball team. Last night they won 20 or so in their game, and they're right behind you in the district. Talk about that. I know, to me, from where I was watching it, it looked like Jeremy was walking all over the before he ever got it to you. Talk about that shot and the progression and what you thought when you hit it.
Well, I really thought we lost the game because when Jeremy fell and I seen he had the ball, he lost control of the ball, I really thought we lost. But when he got it back to me, I told myself I had to make a play, so I just ran down the court and made a play.
Stafford, let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
I think at Anderson County, you had a dunk, I guess. Was that a dunk? Was that an official dunk?
I would say so.
Jonathan, was Stafford's dunk at Anderson County a dunk?
I'll give it to him since he fresh meat. I'll give it to him.
Let me go back to Stafford real quick here. Stafford, we're playing Carnes tomorrow, which is a big district game. It was scheduled for earlier in the year. You came from Carnes. Coach didn't say that, but you know the Carnes players.
Yes, sir.
Is it going to be fun for you guys? Are you in particular to go play your former teammates?
Yes, sir. It's going to be a fun game. I'm looking forward to it. See some old friends, and it's going to be a fun game.
What's going to be the best part about it?
I would say.
I should have asked. Go ahead.
I would say probably just being in that environment. It's a hard environment, to play in, and I think that's the most fun games is when you have a team that has a strong student section and a little trash talking to go on and stuff like that.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Jonathan, you're a guy that can step out and shoot. You as we've seen here recently, you're a guy that passed the ball really well. What are your strengths as a player, in your opinion?
In my opinion, I can do a little bit of everything. It depends on the night. Like if my shot not falling, then I'm going to go get rebounds and pass the ball. If my shot is falling, then I'm going to take more shots. And as Coach Green said, go to the boards, but then I just stand out there to wait for the ball come back out so I can shoot it. So.
Same question, Stafford. Your strengths as a player?
I would say one of my biggest strengths is rebounding and going to both offensive and defensive boards. And then driving. I say attacking, getting to the rim is also one of my strengths.
Coach, you agree with what they said?
Yeah, as soon as you asked Stafford about the Carnes game, after practice today, he was asking me to make sure we run our lob play when he was in the game so he could try to get a dunk. So
Yes, sir.
I don't know if I'll call it or not, David, but yeah, both those guys are not only great athletes and good basketball players, but great kids and been a joy to coach.
Jonathan, you've probably seen this. Stafford, you probably hadn't. I'm going to ask you some questions that are a little bit off target. I do it in football season. Jonathan, you've probably seen it. So, yeah. But Stafford, I'll ask both of you these questions here.
Okay.
They're easy. What's your favorite kind of movie?
Favorite kind of movie would be action movies.
Jonathan?
Comedy.
Do you have a particular movie, each one of you, that you like best? Your favorite movie?
I'm going to have to say Bad Boys.
Stafford?
I would say John Wick.
Okay. Jonathan, would you rather dunk a basketball or catch a touchdown in a football game?
I'll probably rather dunk because I already caught a pass in the football
Good
game.
answer there, right, Coach?
Yeah.
Good answer.
Stafford, what person, living or deceased, would you like to meet and talk to?
Magic Johnson.
Jonathan, same question.
Michael Jackson.
Okay. What team not on the schedule would you like to play?
I don't know.
IMG Academy.
Okay. Stafford, what's your favorite ice cream?
Chocolate chip cookie, though.
Jonathan?
Strawberry.
Who's your favorite athlete of all time?
Michael Jordan.
Magic Johnson.
Who is the biggest joker on the team?
I would say Timothy Williams.
That's what a consistent answer.
Tim.
Why?
Cause he just bring energy out. Like when everybody dead, he just brings it out. Then everybody else bring their energy out. So we just.
What's your favorite memory, both of you, playing basketball at Oak Ridge?
I'll let you go first.
I would say my dunk during Anderson County. It was pretty live.
My favorite is. Does it have to be basketball?
No, you just.
When I scored my first touchdown from the pass from Herbert Booker. It was
Well,
about 80 yards, something like that.
You had a nice one. Well, I won't talk football. You had a nice one in Mount Juliet, and you've had a couple nice ones. But we know Stafford can dunk. Can you dunk?
I can, but it's not constantly.
Coach,
so.
can he dunk?
I think I've seen him fingertip dunk one.
Fingertip, okay.
After practice, they're all dunking.
Right,
so
right.
I think I remember Stewart dunking one.
He won't give nobody else credit.
What's your least favorite food that your parents made you eat when you were a kid?
Broccoli.
Asparagus.
Who picks where you all eat when you go on road trips?
I think we all kind of come to a decision. Jeremy will usually ask us, and then we'll all come to a decision.
Okay. What little known fact about the two of you, each one of you, that they might not know about you? Do you have any qualities that you bring that people might not know about you?
I like to draw. People don't see me draw, but I like to draw.
Okay. Stafford?
I would say I used to play quarterback in middle school.
Uh-huh.
Nobody really knows that. I used to love playing football.
Do you all talk trash on the court?
I personally don't.
That's a great answer.
I mean, I do, but I can't talk a lot because I got a tech, as you can see last game. So,
Coach, what he said though didn't seem to be. You know, I'm going to tell you a story. Maybe I won't tell you. When he was playing, I can tell you something he said to one of our players. We were scrimmaging in a gym that's no longer in existence over there. He took a ball away from our point guard, and he looked at him and he said, I was right there. He said, that's the first of two that I'm going to take from you. That's what he said. So you remember? Is that kind of?
I don't remember it, but I won't deny it. I'm sure I did.
Are you two guys afraid of anything?
I'm afraid of snakes.
No, I'm not really afraid of anything.
What is the best part about going on overnight trips?
Just building a team chemistry. I said the best part.
Just getting out of Oak Ridge and just having team bonding. And
do you all want to play sports? I know you're both underclassmen. Do you want to play sports after high school?
Yes, I do.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Jonathan, you're a two-sport guy, so football, basketball, just whatever. I mean, he's not gonna get mad if you say football, but
I haven't really. Everybody keep asking me that question. I really haven't decided, but I really want to play football. But it just whatever I don't know.
Tell me, both of you, the chemistry of the basketball team. You all seem to get along really well. Talk about the chemistry of this team.
The chemistry is very solid. Like somebody having a bad night, we just get them back on track, and that's just like how our team bonding rolls. And like it's just like a brotherhood.
I agree with Jonathan. Me, when I first moved here, I didn't know how it was gonna go. Me being fresh meat, but everybody was really welcoming and helped me out a lot.
That's great.
Like one of my problems was learning the plays, and no players had a problem helping me and going through them with me, especially Millway. I'll say that he helps me a lot with the plays and learning my position.
Anything you'd like to say before we close it out here? Shout outs, anything?
Yeah. Shout out to my mama. Love you.
Say that. Hi, Mom.
Guys, I appreciate it. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
That is Jonathan Stewart and Stafford Shank. Stafford, let me ask you one more question.
Yes,
Your
sir.
name Stafford itself, we only have a few minutes. Is that a family name?
Yes, sir. It came from my great uncle.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I've wondered about that because it's an unusual kind
Yes,
of
sir.
name. So thank you a lot for
Thank
coming. Coach, it's always fun to talk to you. You're around them all the time, and I only see them from a distance, actually.
Yeah, they did a good job. Some of those some of those questions I didn't know the answer to, so I was curious to see what they'd say.
Coach, you got Carnes tomorrow. It's always a big game. You've got Anderson County Friday, Powell at home Tuesday. But tomorrow's big game, Carnes. It's always tough over there.
You know, this is the only district team we haven't played yet. You know, it was a rescheduled game, and you know, I reminded our team today we beat Carnes twice last year in the regular season by double digits both times. I think by 30+ one game and 15 or 20. I can't remember third place during the regular season. Then we're behind at the district championship game by, I don't know, we was down 6 or 8 in the fourth quarter, I remember, and come back and won the game. But so it's a tough place to play. They've got some talent. Their record's not great, but they'll play hard against us. They'll be ready to play against us, and we need to play better. We don't really get caught up in talking about winning or losing, but we need to play better than we did last night, and our guys know that. We were a little sloppy there in the second half, and just got to continue to get better and focus on the process and not the end result.
So it's basically about you guys. It's not about,
Yeah, we'll scout and watch tape and do all those things like our normal preparation. We'll have an edit tape of them and go through walkthrough as far as what they do and personnel and plays and all that tomorrow. But yeah, a lot of it. We'll adjust things every game depending on the opponent and what their strengths are versus things that we think may make them give us a better chance to win. For example, against Carnes, we'll send 2 people back in transition D instead of 1. So they like to leak people, and so that's one thing we'll emphasize. And we'll see maybe a little bit more zone tomorrow than we have in probably the last month or so. So that's going to be something we're got to be ready for, and we will be ready for.
Anderson County Friday, Powell on Tuesday.
Yeah, Anderson County. When I say them, they beat us last year and ended our, I don't know what the streak was of district games. It was a bunch. Played them here, played well against them here, and it's always a tough place to play. And then Powell coming on Tuesday. Next week's Powell and I think Clinton on Friday. Right. So really the same approach each and every night. Our guys know every district game's a championship opportunity. And we've talked about this before. If you finish first or second in the league, you're automatically in a region, which is a big deal. So you're playing for something every night in our district. So, and our guys know that, and and we've been fortunate, right now to, be where we are district-wise. But again, that can, we'll be getting everybody's best shot for sure.
Coach, thanks a lot for joining us.
Thank you.
It's Aaron Green, head coach of the Oak Ridge High School Wildcats. This has been Off the Glass here on BBB Channel 12. We appreciate the guys, Stafford Shanklin, Jonathan Stewart, for joining us here, along with, there they are, along with Coach Green. And in the girls segment, Coach Redmond, Samaj Clark, as well as Lauren Hart. And, of course, Cannon Green sitting over there. She's with us every single week. I appreciate Dylan in the back. Stay tuned for more sports talk coming up on Channel 12. Looks like the Oliver Springs Lady Bobcats are in the house here tonight, and they'll be on the next show here. Till next week, this is David Clary saying so long, everybody.